Hello! Welcome to Easy English at Home YouTube channel. Today, I'm gonna teach you how to form reported questions. Today, we're focusing on how to report yes-no questions and WH questions. To do this, I want you to remember the interview Alex had with Mark Zuckerberg. Do you remember the questions he asked? If not, no worries, I have the questions written down here for you. So, using these questions, we are gonna study how to report them together, right? So Alex asked, are you married? How can you report this question? Easy, look. Alex asked Mark if he was married. You can as well say whether. So you can choose between whether and if. Alex asked Mark if he was married, or Alex asked Mark whether he was married. Question number 2. Do you have any children? So Alex asked him if he had any children, or whether he had any children. Question number 3. Where do you live? So Alex asked him where he lived. Alex asked him where he lived. Number 4. Where were you born? So Alex asked him where he had been born. The original question is formed in the past simple. As we reported in past perfect tense. Remember how tenses change? The same thing applies here. So next question, what did you study at university? Alex asked him what he had studied at university. So Alex asked him what he had studied. Well, let's have a look at the details and the changes that has taken place here, right? We have the reporting verb. It's different from the others. Asked. It's not said anymore because we are dealing with questions. The second thing, as you report yes-no questions, you need to use the word if or whether, as you can see in these two examples. And the other thing, about WH questions, you need to use the question word, the original question word itself as you report it. Look, where he had been born, right? Or what he had studied. We have the WH questions within the reported form. And the last thing is the order of words. Look at these sentences. They are not in the form of original questions anymore. They have changed. You see the order. You have if and whether, and right after that you have the sentence. I mean, you have the subject, verb, and object. And the other thing with WH questions, you have the WH question like where, what, why, when, and the sentence. You see what he had studied. So, I guess this was easy, huh? Are you ready to practice? Imagine that you went for a job interview earlier today and now you are with your friends. They want to know what questions you were asked. It's time to report the questions they asked you in the interview. Let's do it together. Well, I've got the original questions. Now we're gonna report them to our friends. Let's see. Question number 1. We have, do you work well in a team? So you say, they asked me if I worked well in a team. They asked me if I worked well in a team. So here, what has changed? The reporting verb changed. We used if because it's a yes-no question. And the tense changed. You see, it was in present simple. As we reported, we made it in past simple tense, worked. So same thing applies for each question here. The tense changes, the reporting verb changes because it's asked now, and the pronouns. Number 2, are you willing to travel? They asked me if I was willing to travel. They asked me if I was willing to travel. Number 3, why should we work with you? Nice question. They asked me why they should work with me. Pronouns changed. Should is reported as should. It doesn't change. And the reporting verb is asked. Next thing, how long have you been working in your present job? So they asked me, how long, this is in present perfect continuous, so I have to report it in past perfect continuous. They asked me how long I had been working, okay, in my present job. Next one. Do you have a driving license? Do you have a driving license? They asked me if I had a driving license. And the next one, can you speak any other languages? Good questions, right? Can you speak any other languages? They asked me if I could speak any other languages. If I could speak any other languages. Number 7, do you mind working overtime? So they asked me if I minded working overtime. They asked me if I minded working overtime. And question number 8, the last one. What do you do in your spare time? So they asked me what I did in my spare time. They asked me what I did in my spare time. Are you ready to practice further? I've got 4 questions that I want you to report. As you report, remember how tenses change and remember what we need for reporting questions. Number 1, are you kidding me? So, how can you report this? This is a yes/no question. So you need either if or whether. He asked me, was I kidding? Number 2, he asked me if I was kidding. If I was kidding is correct, yes? Number 2, let's have a look. Do you wake up early? He asked me whether waking up early. This is not correct either, right? Whether waking up early is not a form that we studied before, so this is not correct. Number 2, he asked me to wake up early. No, he didn't tell me to wake up early. Last one is the correct one. He asked me whether I woke up early. Yes, this is correct. He asked me whether, or you can say if, I woke up early. Present simple reported in past simple. Yes? Next question. Can you help me? Can you help me? He asked me how he could help. No, not how. Can you is the original question. So you say, he asked me to help you. No. He asked me if he could help. This is the correct one. He asked me if he could help. Next, how do you go to work? How do you go to work? He asked me how I went to work. This sounds correct, right? He asked me how I went to work. The other ones are not correct, but let's have a look. He asked me if. This is not a yes/no question, so this is wrong. He asked, how did I go to work? Well, he asked me in present simple. But this is not supposed to be in the form of question anymore. It should be like a sentence. So that's why this is wrong. He asked me how I went to work is in the form of a sentence. That's why it's correct. Let's have a look at today's keywords and phrases. We have learned that we use ask as a reporting verb in questions. We report yes-no questions with if or whether. For example, are you ready? He asked me if I was ready. Or you can say, he asked me whether I was ready. We use the WH question words as we report, but the order of the words change. For example, how old are you? He asked me how old I was. Thank you for watching. You can find the practice files for this lesson on the link in description. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye!